Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Sunday to you, and welcome back to Young Money Investing. It is Sunday afternoon, so it's time for my weekly market prep where I help you establish some trend and some market structure in the US stock markets so that you can hopefully make better trading decisions and make more money. Now, if you do appreciate this content that I'm putting out for you every single week, go down and hit that subscribe button. Click the little thumbs up button right next to it. There's a super secret award that happens when you click that, so give it a try, see what happens. You never know. And without further ado, let's jump into the charts. Alrighty, starting off on a daily time frame, looking at the US dollar, the DXY. You can see here that we did get that close below this support line last Thursday, moved back up, and then all sideways action this week. Cannot break through this 20-day moving average, so we are stuck between the 20-day moving average and this support line at 101.62. I do think that we are going to see another breakdown. If you see, we are starting to establish a trend line like this. You can see it moving down. I do think we are going to see a breakdown of this support line. We think that the DXY is going to continue to fall, at least down to this next support line at 99.19. That's really what I'm kind of looking for. We are below all of our moving averages. As you can see, the 20 is below the 50 is below the 200. So bearish sentiment pretty much across the board. The only thing that would change this is if we break this trend line, break the 20-day moving average, and get a move back up at least to the 50-day moving average, and ideally into this green supply area. Barring that, I do think you are going to see some more downside from the DXY in the very near future, which of course is good news for stocks. So let's jump into our first index. We'll take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ very much just sideways action all last week, very similar to the week before. Holding the 20-day moving average, we are sitting above it. So not too much to report, just kind of stuck in this area right here. And until we see a breakout one way or the other, I don't think that you're going to see very large moves. But again, I do think the DXY is going to fall, which means that I do think that the NASDAQ is going to move in an upwards direction like so. So keep an eye out for that. I generally, when price action is range bound like this, I like to see a breakout and then a retest, and then that would be a signal for me to go long, and you see a much larger move in an upwards direction. This applies if you're trading or if you're shorting, so you expect price action to fall. Same thing would apply. You'd like to see a breakout, a retest, and then a much larger move in the original breakout direction. So keep an eye out for something like that. But until you see some type of breakout, the NASDAQ is range bound, so I wouldn't really expect huge moves in either direction. Jumping over to the Russell, you can see kind of the same thing, range bound right about here. Pretty much just range bound. Seems like all our markets are kind of range bound, just moving sideways. You can see there's not really strong trending directions like you had back over here or earlier of this year in January. So really just sideways action. You are about to see the 50-day break through the 200-day moving average, so you might see another retest of this support line at 1734. Barring that, you also might see this 200 support price action in a move back up to 1923. Now, I did have an open position on this. It did get stopped out on Friday, so I am out of that position. That was an options position, so it was leveraged, and ultimately, I think Theta just took its toll and knocked me out of that position. But I do still think you could see a move up as long as we hold this 20-day moving average. I think I was maybe just a little bit early on that trade. Jumping over to the Dow Jones. Dow Jones seems to be the only one that has any type of trend at all. You can see over the past couple of weeks, very strong move up. Pulled off a little bit this past week, slight move down. Not too much to worry about, only about 20 points or so. Very small move for the Dow. So I think that we did get the breakout of this green area, so I would like to see a retest, catching support on that 20-day moving average, and then a move back up to our resistance line at 34,345. You could take that for a cool 2.5%. Really, just this is a time to be patient, review your trading strategy. I know I have been taking the time to do that. Review your trading strategy, see what's working and what's not. Review your trading journal. If you're not keeping one, then I highly recommend you start keeping one. I personally write down, the thought process behind each one of my trades, the emotions that I was feeling before and after, and of course the outcome, profit and loss. Did I win or lose? So, there's a million and one ways you could do it. Find something that works for you, but I would highly recommend that you start keeping a trading journal if you are not already. So with that piece of advice out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into our trade of the week. We are looking at Hecla Mining this week. The ticker symbol is HL. Let me go ahead and draw some lines and then I'll be right back. All right, so as you can see here, I've drawn out this ascending channel that we are currently, price action is currently stuck in, as well as this gray support area right here. And then the last thing I'll draw is a Fibonacci from here to here. So what we are looking for is a long position. Let me actually take him off for just a second. We are looking for a long position. This area has previously acted as resistance. You see the breakout here to the top of the channel, and then it breaks back down to the bottom of the channel, moves back up again. So I'd like to see price action hold it this time. That would help my long confirmation. You also see this blue 50-day moving average coming along below. So I think that if you were to target an entry in this area right about here, you would have a really solid entry opportunity on your hands. Now this channel runs from $5.93 down to about $5.72. So it's about a 20-cent range, and you do have that bottom part of the channel below it. So I think that you do have a really good long opportunity right here, on top of when we go ahead and draw out our fib. What do you see? What is this line right here that is smack dab in the middle of that support area, acting in confluence with the 50-day moving average? You see a 0.618 retracement. It really does not get better than this. You've got the 50-day moving average, you've got the 0.618 retracement, you've got the supply area, you've got the upward trend line. You really have all of these factors acting in confluence to force price action higher. So the only thing left is really, where are we going to target? So if we go ahead and get in right about here, we'll call it about 578. We're going to target this negative 0.25, which is going to be about 747, and you are going to keep your stop just below that 764 level, which is also just below the trend line. That should give you a risk to reward ratio of about 5. Really solid. Means that you're trying to make $5 for every $1 of risk. So I think this is a great setup between, like I mentioned, the confluence of the 618 retracements, the level of support, you've got the 50-day moving average, and you've got the bottom of your ascending channel, all pretty much within 20-30 cents of one another. I think that you can have a really solid opportunity here to take it back up. Like I said, this negative 0.25, that's pretty much going to act in confluence with the top of your channel, which is a fantastic time to get out of this trade anyway. So remember, this is not financial advice. Don't do anything stupid with your money. Don't risk anything more than you can afford to lose, and always use a stop loss. So that's it for me. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you. I hope you smash this week. I hope you make a buttload of money. And that's pretty much it. Peace out, homies.